Breaking news coming out today. Easton Cowan and Fraser Minten, two of the Leafs' top prospects, have both made Team Canada for the World Junior Championships this year. That's exciting. Let's go into it a little bit further. What's going on, everybody? Brian the Leafs guy here, wanting to talk about the big news that came out of Hockey Canada today. Easton Cowan and Fraser Minten, the Toronto Maple Leafs top prospects, have both made Team Canada for the World Juniors this year. This is actually some pretty big news. I was looking a few weeks ago at the roster or the potential list, like the whole list of all the guys there, and this was an extremely difficult team to make. Very difficult. The list was pretty big, and there's some really good players out there. So I wasn't too sure if they were actually going to make it or not, but they both appear to have made it. Team Canada has 12 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 3 goalies. So let's go over the forward group here. Owen Allard was the only guy that I didn't really know, I believe, out of this list, and I looked him up, and he looks like he's undrafted, so he's just having a really good year. Undrafted guy, Owen Beck, second-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens, having a good year. Macklin Celebrini is the potential first overall pick. He's the highest touted prospect going into the 2024 draft. So he's 17 years old, hasn't been drafted to the NHL because his draft is coming up, and he's looking to be the first overall pick. Easton Cowan, our man, our 28th overall pick from this past draft. Everybody was shocked when he went with the 28th pick. People thought he would be a second rounder, kind of mid-second rounder, not a late first. But he had an unbelievable training camp with the Leafs. He almost made the team. He made it to the last day, but ultimately Sheldon Keefe had such good praise for Easton Cowan throughout training camp. He just looked amazing. He outplayed like a Nick Robertson, quite substantially. And if he wasn't 18 years old, I think they would have put him on the Leafs team. They just had already a glutton, like a huge list of guys, and they said, you know what, the easiest move is to send Cowan back. He's 18, there's no harm. And they sent him back down, and he's been playing in the Ontario Hockey League, and he's right up at the top, maybe third or fourth in points per game in the OHL, and he's doing really, really well. Nate Danielson was Detroit's first-round pick from this draft. I think 9th overall, just a really smart centerman. Jordan Dumais is the third-round pick from 2 years ago for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he has been dominating the WHL last year and this year. I have never seen numbers as ridiculous as Jordan Dumais' numbers in the WHL. It's very rare. I think he had like 140 points, 142 last year, and he's well on pace to do that again. Connor Geekie, he's the Arizona Coyote draft pick. He had a few slow years. I think he was 11th overall 2 years ago, and this year he's having a really good year. Really good year. And then Fraser Minten, our second-round draft pick from 2 years back. We traded our first-round pick and Peter Mrazek, and we traded back 13 spots, and then we drafted Fraser Minten, and he's been an amazing draft pick. He actually made the Leafs team out of camp. He got 4 games with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the team just realized that they weren't going to give him the minutes that he deserved. They want him to be playing 20 minutes a game, and they were only going to be able to give him 10. So they made the decision to send him back. But he had a great camp. He looked really good beside Nyes. So for those who don't know Fraser Minten, he's just a very good two-way center, very defensive-minded, very smart. He has like captain potential. Like I see him as like a Boone Jenner type of player from the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's really good in that regard. And going back to Easton Cowan, he's just feisty. He never stops. He has a good two-way game, and he's just he's a center winger, right winger. Just really creative. So it'll be really cool to see Easton Cowan. I think Easton Cowan's potential is very high. And Fraser Minten, I have him as like a very good like third line center potential, like who can fit into your top 6 as well. But very likely that'll be the case. Carson Reichert, probably butchered that. I believe he's a Seattle pick, and he's having a great year. I think it was a Seattle second-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. This is all off the top of my head, so please forgive me. Matthew Savoy, or Savoy, who is the Buffalo Sabres' 9th overall pick from 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken on that one. So Matthew Wood, Nashville draft pick. I actually just had to look that up. I was surprised by that. He's a Nashville draft pick. And then Brendan Yeager, who is Kyle Dubas's first draft pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And that's the forward group. Really, really strong. All these guys are having an amazing year. And then on defense, you have Oliver Bonk, Jake Furlong, Maverick Lamoureux, Tristan Leno, Denton Matichuk, Tanner Molendyke, Noah Warren. I won't go through every single one of their teams, but there's some good prospects in there. I know Anaheim is very happy. They got a few guys in there. And on goaltending, we got Scott Ratzlav, Matthias Rousseau, and Samuel Saint Hilaire. All names that I have never heard of before. I'm sure they're well known. I just don't know them myself. This whole forward group I know for sure, and I know most of these defense goaltenders. I'm not 100% sure, but crazy. Easton Cowan, Fraser Minten, both officially on Team Canada. So excited to see them just crush the competition. Are you guys excited? What are you thinking in the chat below? Please let me know, and feel free to watch my next video, which will be right in that corner, like all the way down at the bottom corner that way. I appreciate you. Much love.